is your super sketch artist, Antonio, and these are my sketchy thoughts. I've been away for a little bit. It was my birthday on the 2nd of July. I went home, I hung out with some family, I did some stuff, and it was just a good time all around. So sorry that I've been away. I thought I had made an episode, and then what ended up happening was it only recorded 44 seconds. So yeah. With that being the case, I'm back. And since I last saw you or talked to you, a very important movie to me has come out, and that is the new James Gunn Superman movie. Now, that's an important movie to me because my last name is Clark and I'm a military man. I've explained this multiple times, and Superman is my nickname. So, not only am I a comic guy and someone who loves comics and someone who's loved Superman since I was a child and loved all of the movies and cartoons and things of that nature that have come out, but I am a huge just comic book movie guy. I am gonna always support comic movies simply because I want the genre to continue to grow. I want them to keep making more of this stuff that I love to watch. I've seen it twice in the theaters already. If you haven't seen it, definitely go and see it. I think it's well worth the price of admission. I saw it in IMAX both times because that's what it was shot for. I absolutely loved this movie. It is my favorite Superman movie, hands down. It's my favorite Superman movie because it encompasses all the different things that Superman is and does. From his immense strength, speed, to his immense kindness. And that is the name of this episode, which is Maybe Being Kind is the New Punk Rock. Now, not only am I going to talk about Superman because I'm going to talk about this movie because it's important, but I'm also going to talk about what that also entails when it comes to the artistic side of being an artist, being kind. But first and foremost, let me just give a quick rundown. I did give a review. It's on my YouTube page if you want to listen to it. A non-spoiler review. I think this movie just is exquisite on so many different levels, and I felt that way the first time I saw it, and especially after the second time I saw it, I still just kept walked out nodding my head, being like, "Yeah, this is great. This is a great seed that's planted for the new DCEU universe." And James Gunn just turned out to be the guy that, you know, ended up being a good gardener. And I'm so excited about that's the foundation that he's building and what he has in store. Also, this month, we get a Fantastic Four movie that's coming out. And I will be talking about that when that comes out because I will be seeing that. I am very excited. I'm a huge Fantastic Four fan. But we'll get to that later on down the line. I think next week, as a matter of fact. It comes out next week, if I'm not mistaken. So back to this Superman movie. It it shows so many different things, and I've talked about it almost ad nauseum with not only the people that have seen it and loved it, but also the people that saw it and didn't like it. And one of the things that I kept hearing is, oh, well, Superman is too, he's not strong enough, and all these different things. And one of the things that they say in the movie, which is maybe being kind, is the new punk rock. And punk rock was supposed to be this hard thing that's very like counterculture, and you mess with me and we'll mess you up and type of things, and going against the grain. And it's amazing but sad at the same time that being kind, especially as a man, a powerful man, is seen as something that is somehow wrong and is somehow not the thing that you're supposed to do. It really does amaze me that we live in a world in 2025 with all the things that we adhere to and go through, that anyone would then think that, hey man, this is the thing that I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna being kind. Who wants to be kind? Why be kind when I can just be mean? Everyone needs kindness, especially right now here in the United States. We need more kindness because the government is trying to destroy us, which it shows perfectly in the Superman movie. The character of Lex Luthor is a perfect mirror for what we actually have in power and for powerful people. Batman is a character that people love so much. And when you look at it, and I've said this before, and I'm going to keep saying it, Batman and Lex Luthor are the same character. They're just two sides of the same coin. Both are normal human beings that come from wealthy families, have literally a silver spoon in their mouth. Even Batman has a lot of tragedy attached to that silver spoon, but still a silver spoon nonetheless. All this trauma that's attached to him, and instead of him and instead of Lex deciding to use their power, their prestige, everything that has been given to them from the moment that they were born, since before they were born, they were already born into an amazing situation. And instead of them using that leg up that they have in this world and in their fictional world of Metropolis and Gotham, they've decided to hyper focus on something so minuscule that actually isn't doing them any real damage themselves. So Lex Luthor hyper focuses on a beacon of hope and peace in Superman and decides that I only hate you because of all these things and I feel inferior to you. My inferiority makes me hate you. The same thing that we saw in the Batman versus Superman movie. We saw Batman, they showed the Man of Steel movie, and they showed Batman when they did Batman versus Superman. They showed Batman trying to save a little girl during one of the scenes where the Kryptonians were trying to terraform the Earth, and Batman felt inferior and powerless in that situation, which made him then start to hyper focus on, I need to take down this person who's done nothing but help people. I need to fight him because he might, Batman and his paranoia, with all his power that he has just as much paranoia, which realistically is a weakness for him. His paranoia is a weakness, and even in the comic books, it's been shown multiple times that his paranoia and his fear has come back to bite him, not only him, but actually hurt his friends who actually have powers even more than it hurt him. And just like Lex, if Bruce actually took the time to use his resources to the fullest extent that he could, him and Lex could turn not only their cities that they reside in, but the earth that they live on, that they love so much that they want to protect from an alien, they could turn it into a utopia. They choose not to. Lex chooses to hyper focus down and use all these resources to try to mimic what Superman can do and mimic what Superman is, and not use it in a way that uplifts anyone, but in turn attacks Superman. So you mean to tell me, because in the comic, one of the iterations of Bizarro, the character Bizarro, comes from Lex Luthor making him. The character of Superboy, Connor Kent, the last iteration of Superboy, comes from Lex cloning him. It's Lex's DNA and Clark's DNA. So you mean to tell me you have all this scientific know-how to be able to clone one of the strongest beings on the planet, and you're just using him so that he can try to hurt the man that's saving everybody? That doesn't seem smart at all. And Lex is one of the smartest people on the in the DC universe. Same as Bruce. Bruce is this world-class detective, martial artist, good guy type of person, and you, who live in a crime-ridden city, do not use your actual power, which is money and prestige, and use it to the fullest of its extent. And instead of actually building Arkham Asylum up, building the GCPD up, building the infrastructure of Gotham so that the crime that you see, that you masquerade, Batman masquerades as a criminal just so he can get more information about where the crime is. And instead of empowering the GCPD to take it down, he just goes in solo or with the underage child. That sounds ridiculous. And as I've gotten older, I've realized when I see these types of people in real life, I've seen the Jeff Bezos, I've seen the Elon Musk, who think themselves this righteous symbol of progress, and oh, I'm this shining knight is how they see themselves. And you have these men who were rejected and have climbed to power, and instead of using their power to actually make the world a better place, they've done it to enforce elitism and modern day slavery. And sure, Amazon is great. It's made it so that people can get things easily. Here's the joy of the situation. If Amazon, there's other Amazons in the world, and someone as rich as Jeff Bezos and as rich as Elon Musk, if they actually, they both, well, Elon Musk definitely won multiple times have went online and went on record to say, well, if someone came up with a plan on how the world end hunger, I'd listen to it. But you won't. You won't. Why? Because you didn't think of it. And the crazy part is that's not part of your thought process. I have billions of dollars. Instead of me hoarding this money like some kind of dragon and, you know, let me actually use it to strengthen this world that we live in, to strengthen the infrastructure. Because guess what? When people make more money, when people are better off, guess what they're going to do? Not only are they going to be happier, but they're going to actually spend money. Oops. What are they going to spend money on? Amazon. What are they going to buy? High value cars like Teslas? But no, 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 no. And look what happened when someone like Elon got into office. He automatically showed his true colors immediately to the world. People who said they already knew who he was only saw what they had already known to be true. But for people like myself who didn't really know anything about him besides like him being a tech guy, he showed his true colors. Same with Jeff Bezos. Soon as Jeff Bezos started talking about let's go to the moon and stuff. What are you using all that money to just go to the moon so you can go to the moon for 10 minutes? And guess what? If I'm a billionaire, I probably would do the same thing. On that same note, after I come back down and before I come back down, I would have already put stuff in place to help people. Just, I don't know, have jobs, have cars, have a place to live. And going back to the Superman movie, that's what Lex and Batman both do. For every one person that they could, not even one, for every 10,000 people that they could be helping, they decide to turn a blind eye and look at Superman and be jealous of what he is naturally doing. Superman is the exact opposite of those two men because he is using what he was naturally born with before. He's using what he was naturally born with, and he's using it to the best of his ability. And even Superman realistically could still just be Superman the whole time if he really wanted to. He could just be Superman. And that's a whole conversation into itself, is why isn't he just Superman all the time? But we've seen that. We've seen what happens when Superman just says, it's my way and I'm going to fix crime. And even in the movie, we saw what happens when Superman just does what he thinks is right. The world doesn't like it. Oh, you mean to tell me these people were going to be, you don't let me subjugate these people? Oh, well, now I got a problem. And now I got a problem with America because you reside in America and you represent America. And he has said it in one of the scenes, light spoiler here. He says, like, people were going to be hurt. When he's asked why, it comes down to a combination of people were going to die. And like, what don't you understand? I stopped people from being massacred. That's it. And throughout the Superman movie, and the big difference between the Superman and the Man of Steel is, in the Man of Steel movie, I love the representation of what happens when two Superman level characters just fight. They just fight and people gonna get hurt. People gonna die because the person that's not a good guy is gonna throw this car. And if Superman's not careful, that car is gonna squash somebody. Or if somebody smacks Superman or hits him and they hit them into a building, the building gets destroyed. Whoever was in that building is gone. On that same note, they make sure that they show, and even Superman tells when he's being grilled about him stopping genocide, somewhere else on the planet, he says, "Yeah, well, I just crushed a couple tanks and a couple trucks and a little collateral damage here and there, but very minimal injuries." And even when there's battles going on, they make sure that they show that when Superman is getting punched and hit and stuff like that, he's doing his best to save everyone around him that cannot take the punch, cannot have a building dropped on them, cannot fly through fire or have debris fall on them and be okay. That is the epitome of being kind. That is the epitome of being powerful. Looking out for people who do not have the same power level as you, looking out for the little guy, looking out for those that actually need your help, and doing everything you can to help them without being a tyrant, because that's the joy of Superman, is he has all the power in the world and he chooses to be good. That's the thing that really gets under Lex's skin. He has all this power and he chooses to just be a guy, a nice guy. I choose to get cats out of trees and I choose to save a squirrel. Lex would never do that. And the reality of it is, neither would Bruce Wayne. Say what you want, but if Bruce Wayne really cared as much as he says he would use his everything that he does in Gotham to make Gotham a better place, a place more like Metropolis. But he thrives on that because he can't focus on the bigger picture. He's only focused on what he deems important, which is trying to rid the city of crime one mugger at a time, which is the craziest thing because all it does is get more people hurt. And his stance is, well, if I take the Joker out, there's only going to be another one that comes in his place, which is the silliest thing that I've ever heard. That's a whole nother conversation. With that being the case, that's why I'm going to say that Lex and Bruce are the same character. They're just two sides of the same coin. Two rich guys that squander their true power. True power. Because again, Lex can build a suit that makes him as strong as Superman. He's literally done it. In the comic book, Lex was the president of the United States, which is one of the most powerful places that you can be. He says it in the comic. Do you know how much power I have to relinquish to be president? And that's exactly how our current government feels. I guarantee the person in power right now feels like I could do more when I wasn't in this position. More of what I want to do. Sure, you can do a whole bunch of stuff that affects a lot of different people and nobody really can say anything about you. But when you when you weren't in this public eye, now there was nothing anybody could say to you because you got to do your dealings and you had so much money that no one was going to say anything. But now your spotlight is on you, so now you can't do your dirt. And even when you can, you have people actively looking for it so they can prop it up and show it to everyone, when before you were just a guy that we saw on TV that nobody really cared about. So when I see this movie and I see this, oh, I see Lex Luthor, so charismatic. Shout out to the actor that played him. So charismatic. This was the best version of Lex I've ever seen in my life, because he had control of everyone. Everyone that was close to him was a puppet on a string for him. People, it's so crazy when I think about it. When you think about these supervillains in comics, you see these people that have all these henchmen under them. So you mean to tell me, and again, this is a mirror for real life, you're the bad guy and you have all of these people that are under you that see that you're doing these underhanded things, and they decide to say, yes, sign me up. Sign me up. This is what I want. Yep. This bad thing that you're doing, sign me up. Put me in, coach. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. And again, the mirror is right there in real life that we get to see. OMG, we get to see it in real time. We get to see people who sign up to actively harm the people in not only this country, but other countries around the world, other groups of people all over this country, not only this country, but this world. How can you sleep at night knowing that that's what you're into? Knowing that you are contributing to that? I would love to have those conversations with those people, but I know I never will. And maybe I will one day. Who knows? And those would be the questions that I'll ask them, is how can you even sleep at night knowing that this is exactly what you're doing? It's insane to me to know that people can be that way. But again, this is what makes Superman in this movie so cool, because he decides to rise above all of this stuff that he sees and choose to be kind, even when people that love him are like, how can you just, like, people see kindness as a form of naivete. What do you mean? It's but what about, this is just me being kind with no expectations on the back end. True giving is doing for someone and not expecting anything in return. That's the heart of true giving. And this depiction of Superman displays that perfectly. I'm going to give everything I have, including hurting myself, if it means that I can stop this thing that might hurt someone else. How awesome is that? Now, when it comes to the artistic standpoint of that, kindness is something that unfortunately is not as prevalent in the artistic world as we would want it to. And it starts literally in your own mind, in your own heart. When we look at the paintings and the drawings that we do, and all of a sudden we look around and say, oh, this is garbage, this is trash. I have a whole stack of sketchbooks that are filled with stuff that I cringe when I look at it now. And when I look at them, I'm like, why didn't somebody tell me this was bad? But I was growing. And one thing that we have to do as artists, knowing that we are supplying a service that the world needs. The world needs artists. It needs them. I'm sitting in someone's drawing right now. You are holding someone's drawing in your hand right now. Right now, you're wearing someone's drawing right now. And you have since you came out the womb. The moment somebody put clothes on you, they put someone's art right on your body and you've been wearing it. And everyone is an artist. I'm going to always say that. Everyone is an artist. So we have to be kind to ourselves as we go through this creative process of life. We were born to create in our own way. No matter what kind of thing that we're creating, we get to choose. You get to choose what you create in this life. Are you creating peace? Are you creating chaos? Are you creating masterpieces? Are you creating crap? You get to decide. Other people will have their opinions, but ultimately, you know what deep down inside, you know what the actual goal was. If you are setting out to create art that touches the masses, if it just touches one person, realistically, just one pebble in the water creates a ripple effect. We have to remind ourselves that if our art can just touch one person, we are absolutely positively doing our job. And in the social media platform that we are in now, the world, social media is ingrained in our day-to-day lives. Even if you don't want to be on social media, it just is a part of every landscape of living now. We think that if we don't have 10,000 likes and a million likes, that we're not touching anybody. And that's the furthest thing away from the truth. It's the furthest thing away from the truth. Anytime I get a message, and it always comes on time for me, I randomly open up my DMs on any of the platforms that I'm on, and somebody will send me a message telling me about what they think of the content that I create and how it makes them feel. That is worth its weight in gold. And truly, it's priceless to me. It's more priceless. Yes, I want commissions and stuff like that. Pay me to make some art for you. But this comment that you've given me out of your own free will is priceless to me. It's priceless. It's priceless. With that being the case, we have to be kinder, not only to ourselves, but also to our own artwork as we're creating it and as we're putting it out in the world. When you see someone looking at your art and they give you a critique, don't apologize. Don't be quick to apologize. Don't be quick to say, oh, well, it's just kind of bad. I mean, I'm just kind of, I really wasn't trying that hard. I fall in this pitfall myself all the time where I have to pull back the negative self-talk because it's ingrained in who we are as people. The average human being that's walking around will easily talk down about who and what they are. First, second, and third, they'll just talk down about who they are, what they do. And that's not good. At the end of the day, it's just not good. And it's not helping us as humans. It's not pushing us forward as artists. Because what it's going to do is going to put a blockade on our creativity. It's going to put a pitfall before that leap in skill that we actually need to get us where we need to go. Yes, that thing that you're doing, it might not come out right away. You might have to try a whole bunch of times. Again, I got sketchbooks full of stuff of me making attempts, me doing it over and over and over, drawing the same eye, the same figure, the same hair, all these different things over and over and over and over and over again. And I'm going to keep doing it until the day I no longer can hold a pencil or a pen or finger paint. I always say, like, I'll be an old man finger painting if I can't hold a pencil or a pen in my hand. That's how much I love my art. I'm always going to be an artist. I always have been. And you are too. That's the joy of the situation. You are too. Today's a great day to tap into your creative self. That part of you that gets joy out of creating something. And again, it doesn't have to be a visual thing. It could be dance. It could be cooking. It could be furniture making. It could be architecture. It could be anything. comedy, acting, whatever it is that you create, music, I am always going to say be kind to yourself and let yourself just let the creativity flow out of you. It's a shame that we put so many like restrictions on ourselves as human beings, as creative human beings. We were born to create. Why put restrictions on yourself? So that's where we can buck against the system. That's where we can make the new punk rock a standard and not just a one-off. We don't have to be those uppity, self-loathing, hard to talk to artists that are just very like, oh, well, just they don't really want to talk to anybody. I see it all the time. Every time I go to a Comic-Con or all these things, I see at least a good portion of artists that are kind of, I don't really want to talk to you. Give me your money or leave me alone. And I understand. Get it. I get it. What would the world look like if everyone just was kind, though? That's idealistic of me. I get it and I understand. And that's not the way that the actual world works. I get it. It's not. It's not the way the world works. At the same time, it's nice to think about what could possibly be. And what I would love to happen is I would love to live in a world where creativity was not only celebrated because it's so vast and it's not, oh, this person is an outlier, so we're just going to celebrate them, but not only where kindness is celebrated, but it is the normal. It's the norm. It just is. Society wants us to not be kind to one another because, you know, divide and conquer is a thing. And that's where our world is right now. And as in the art industry, I've seen it too many times. Well, I like this art and I don't like that kind of art. This art sucks. This art's great. I don't like that creator. Oh, this creator is amazing. What would the world look like if we actually just approached living with kindness first? What would happen if we actually led with love? What I always say, go be super. What if we went into life looking at it the way Superman does, which is when I walk outside of this door, I'm going to put as much good as I can into the world with every ounce of power that I have in my body. And it doesn't have to hurt me, and I don't have to lose. I don't have to be less than. As a matter of fact, I get propped up when others are propped up by anything that I say or do. That's actually something that can happen. And for us as artists, we get to put something into the world where the world gets to love it. I mean, really love it. The world gets to love it. The world gets to look at it and say, yo, this is amazing. This makes me feel good. This makes me want to, I always say when I get excited, I feel like the Kool-Aid man. I'm so excited. I want to run through a wall. We as creatives get to be that for someone. We get to be that spark that can get someone so jacked up that they are ready to run through a concrete slab just because of this thing that you've made that has touched them in the deepest regions of their soul. It still amazes me to this day that anything that I can create can touch anybody in any kind of way. But I'm eternally grateful for any time that I see someone or that I see it or someone tells me about it. I'm eternally grateful because it lets me know I'm on the right path. I made the right choice. I packed up all my stuff. I moved away from my hometown and my family and those that love me. And I went on an adventure so that I can find true joy in my life. And me moving to New York, which in 2 more weeks, it'll be 10 years since I had moved to New York. 10 years, it'll be, whew, it seems crazy. When I moved, like, I just didn't know what was going to happen, but I knew that I had to make this attempt because if I waited even another year, I knew I would be stuck forever. I knew I would because of the person that I am. So I'm saying this today, be kind to yourself. I don't know what that looks like for you. It could mean just talking to yourself better, talking to those that are around you better, because maybe that in turn will make them treat you better. I don't know what that entails. What I do know is that we need to be kinder to ourselves and kinder to one another. That is the new punk rock. And that's amazing. That's an amazing thing. It sounds silly, but it goes back to the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's such a simple thing, yet it's so hard for so many. But in 2025, I believe with my whole heart that we can get to a place where that is the reality, that is the standard, that is the base level of everyone. Is, oh, I'm just kind to not only myself first, because that's very important, but to others, especially those that I'm like in constant contact with. Why would you be unkind to those that you have to see every day? Again, that starts with you. You see yourself every single day. Why are you being unkind to yourself? As an artist, if you're creating every day, why are you being unkind to what you're creating? You created it. And if you don't like it, that's fine. You can, there's still a better way to go about critiquing yourself. I'm always going to say, talk to yourself like you're talking to someone that you love. And we all know that if someone that you love is going through, you're not going to be like, oh man, this is crap. And so are you. Even the people that we give tough love to, we're going to want to temper our words and how we act to them because we want them to be okay. And what I'll say is, everyone has the capacity to be kinder. Everyone. That includes me. That includes you. With that being the case, these are my sketchy thoughts. I hope that they resonated with you. I hope that they hit home. If you haven't seen it, go see the Superman movie. It's an amazing piece of film, of theater. And I think I can't wait to own it on Blu-ray. And I hope that it is just the beginning of an amazing run of movies with characters that I love. With that being the case, as always, be good to yourself, be good to others, go be super.